Okay, so the agenda for today is the Career Pathways Training Program, and hopefully everyone in this Zoom meeting is a member, 1199 member, is looking to do the CTP program under the nursing program, either RN, ASA, associates, bachelors, and LPN to RN or accelerated bachelors. If you started your nursing program before September 24, you're not eligible for this program, unfortunately. So if you started in the summer or the spring of this year, you're not eligible for CPT funding. So we're going to talk about registered nursing. What is it? We're going to talk about the supports you guys are going to get on the CPT and all this other good stuff that the scholarship provides for the members. So what happens is the grant time frame is that the program is available for students who began their program from fall 24. Going forward, it can complete by June of 2027. So if that's you, you're in the right place. And that means associates, bachelors, LPN to RN, and accelerated bachelors. So what the CPT program advantage consists of is, of course, paying for all tuition. Books and materials will be through a third-party vendor. We can take care of that if a third-party vendor will accept a check from us. The reason for that is that we cannot reimburse a member through this funding. Okay. Also through this program is tutoring and test prep. So if you have to take a TEAS or a HESI for your entrance to a future program, nursing program, we can supply that at no cost to you. Of course, we also, what's going to be mandatory is the certification and licensing exam prep, right? So we do the NCLEX here. It'd be 2 days in person, and then the rest would be via the internet. And also we have what we call the Employment Center, the EC, which will help you find employment. They'll get you interviews, but you would have to go through the motions to get to secure that job. Okay, so also with, oh, wait a minute. So through the CPT, if you're a member, there's also pay release time. So you will agree to work on the weekends, refrain from working during paid release time, and refrain from accumulating overtime hours. So the reason for this is if we're gonna fight for you guys to get time release, you can't be getting overtime because then you don't need the time to study. So the idea is if you're working 5 shifts at 8 hours, then depending on how many credits you take it for the semester, you're entitled for 1 or 2 days of pay release that comes with backfill. And the backfill is that your institutions will charge $11.99 for paying you for those 1 or 2 days, and also for having someone fill your slot. That means cover for you when you're at school, the days you got pay release. Okay, and then also obtain employment in the occupation related to yours. That means your program studied 1 year of graduation to commit to 3 years of working at a 30% Medicaid funding institute. So that's important because if you just plan to get your license and move to Florida, this ain't for you. So if with this CPT, there's a 3-year commitment letter that you will have to sign off a contract saying that you will work for 3 years in a New York City institute that deals with 30% Medicaid funded patients or underinsured. So the restrictions and requirements, we already spoke about one, that you have to start after fall of 2024. That means September of this year, start your nursing classes. And you will not be reimbursement for any payments to the schools, or vendors should not pay training expenses up front. So if you seem eligible for the CPT, we're going to give you a way to go through the MyTech portal so you can see, and someone reach out and vet your documents and let you know if you are eligible for CPT. TEF will pay the educational institution and colleges directly for tuition, books and materials. You see the asterisk because that's through a third-party vendor. Okay, and then applicable fees. So if you pay a fee, there's a chance that the school might give that back to you if they include it in the bill. So $11.99 can pay for it. All right, and you have to maintain the expected GPA of a 3.0 or better, because that's usually the New York City standard of nursing programs. So usually we tell our members shoot for 3.5, 3.6, because the nursing programs are very, very competitive. So if you're coming in at 3.0 and there's people that come in 3.5, the seats are limited. Okay. Also, you will have to apply for financial aid through the FAFSA application every year. Okay, and agree to sign a service commitment to work for a healthcare provider in New York State for 3 years. So, registered nurse, what is it, and is it for you? Hopefully, some of you guys ask the nurses at your facilities, nurses that you know, your family members, of what a nursing does, what a nurse does, and what the nursing profession consists of. So it delivers and supervises patient care. It administers medicine and treatments. It evaluates the outcome of care, instituting appropriate changes and reporting patient progress. It plan and implement and evaluate programs to meet community needs, conduct research or quality improvement projects to identify and institute best practices. And you guys will be working closely with the doctors. If they forget something, you're going to be their reminders. So it's very critical that you take your assignments as a nurse very seriously. So the working environment to be hospitals, nursing homes, clinics, and physicians' offices. Those are private storefronts and that kind of stuff. Of course, there's always advance for opportunity advancement. From associate, you could get a bachelor's after that. It's always increasing in wages, employment more readily available if you're a registered nurse, licensed in New York. Upgrades available to work in emergency room, critical care units with additional training. And of course, that's not right away after you graduate, but with given time that you put some years under your belt, you can also transfer to the emergency room with critical care units, like the ICU and the cardiac care. And from BSN to nurse practitioner, which is a CPT title, or a master's in nursing education. So you from these titles that you're trying to go now, there's always room for improvement and more advancement. Okay, nursing education program includes classroom instruction and supervised clinical experience in hospitals and other healthcare facilities. So most programs give you clinicals, and that's usually somewhere else, usually not in the school. It's usually in a hospital setting or a clinic or a rehab center. And then students will take courses in anatomy, physiology, microbiology, chemistry, nutrition, psychology, and behavioral sciences as prereqs to get into your nursing program. Bachelor degree programs usually include more training in the physical and social sciences, communication, leadership, and critical thinking, which is becoming more important as the nursing practice becomes more complex. So all the time they're coming up with nursing. A few years they came up with a lot of the hospitals have to have 70% BSN nurses, bachelors holding nurses in their facilities. BSN programs also offer more clinical experience in non-hospital setting. A BSN or higher like a MS, like a master's in nursing is often necessary for administrative positions, research, consulting, and teaching, like nurse education, leadership in nursing, those things. So LP and the RN are current licensed practical nurses intending to pursue an associate in registered nursing, and that falls under CPT. Associates that end before June 2027 is eligible for CPT. RN, if you're already an associate to BSN and you're going to finish your BSN before June 2027, you're eligible for CPT. And BSN, if you got an accelerated BSN and you're going to finish your nursing program before June 2027, you're eligible for CPT. Get this tuition assistance and you don't finish by June of 2027, you will be paying that money back. They'll be coming after you. This is New York, State of New York. All right? State of New York will come after you for this money back if you don't complete the contract. So entry requirements, LPN to RN, you usually have to have 30 to 35 credits, including English, math, anatomy, physiology, chemistry, and a GPA of 3.0 or very much higher for most of the nursing programs in New York City. Associate nursing, 13 to 17 credits, including English, math, anatomy, physiology, chemistry. We're talking about what we call prereqs. This is before you get into the nursing program. And of course, a GPA of 3.0 in those prereqs. And then, of course, the T's or the HELSI that a lot of the schools use to see if you can cut it at their nursing program. And for RN to BSN, that means you already have an associate's degree with a GPA of 2.7. We put 2.7 because some schools go for that. The schools that there's limited seats that want 3.4, 3.5. So the higher your GPA, the better. Of course, you got to have an NCLEX exam. You passed it, and you form a credential from RN to BSN, limited ability. Then for the BSN, 20, 30 credits, depending on transcript review. Generic bachelor's of science degree, case specific, because you have to be done by June of 2027. The GPA, of course, 3.0, usually much higher. That's what with most of our members that are already in nursing programs, we know this to be the case. They really want you to have a 3.4, 5, 6, almost Dean's List action. And of course, passing the T's and the HESI exam. So typical entry requirements, licensure, and registration requirement. For an associate in nursing, you will graduate from a nursing education program acceptable to the New York State Educational Department, the ACEN, and the CCNE, which are national accreditation bodies. So your schools must be accredited by these three bodies. Okay, complete the New York State required infection control coursework and child abuse reporting coursework, which most schools have that incorporated to their curriculum, or they'll do the clinicals outside that you could do this. Pass the National Council licensure exam for registered nurses, which is the NCLEX, or another license examination acceptable to the New York State Education Department. And of course, you apply the RN license with New York State Education Department. But we'll do all that because, like I said, the NCLEX prep is mandatory for those going through the CPT, and we'll give you instructions when you are doing the NCLEX prep. The requirements for licensure and registration is RN to BSN, and BSN meet the education requirements of a four-year degree program. But again, you have to be done by June 2027 and start by the fall of 2024. And then pass the NCLEX, which we will be helping out with the NCLEX review. So these are programs that are recommended. They're approved schools. So you can take a picture of this, or of course, when you do your one-on-one, if you don't see your school there, you can call the 1-844-833-1199 number and ask to speak to a counselor for CPT. Let them know you're a member, and they'll put you through to a counselor, so you can get individual understanding. If this is going too fast for you, I apologize. It's just we got to make sure we get it all into you. Okay, so these are CUNY, SUNYs, and private that we deal with on an everyday basis. Oh, took it out. Okay. I was going to talk about Chamberlain, but it looks like they took it out. Chamberlain's not accepting new students at this point. So then the RN to BSN TREF approved schools is these are public and private schools that are around the tri-state area. So if you see your school up there, then you're in like Flynn. Again, this all could be repeated to you, and when you do sign up for the commitment letter, all this will be there also. So it'll tell you what schools and what institutes are part of the CPT. For BSN approved schools, these are the schools that are there. Oh, I see Chamberlain's there, but Chamberlain's not accepting new students at this time. They got in a little bit in trouble because of their licensing, how many people they getting licensed at the end of the year, of the school year. So they got put on probation, and they lose their accreditation, but they got put on probation. And the rest of public schools is all schools that we've been dealing with for the last 20 years. All right, so program entry. So should be no out-of-pocket payments starting now in January of 2025, either the spring or the winter 2025 semester. So I don't know how your school does it. For those private schools that do 2 modules, we understand that. That's Helene Fold and a few other schools that do 2 modules. So we consider 1 semester 2 modules. Okay, so then the career pathway training covers 100% of your mandatory tuition and fees. TEF can also pay for books through a third-party vendor, which I spoke about earlier. Once you have a bill and are enrolled in a cohort program, you will receive, of course, once you upload those documents to the CPT portal through MyTEF, you will receive a letter or voucher so your school can bill us directly. Okay, and part of that process is if you go to MyTEF, which is our internet portal, and you upload your documents that if you are ready for next semester, January, and you got nursing programs listed on your transcript, that's what we'll be looking for. So there will be no out-of-pocket payments for you through the CPT program. As long as you sign that 3-year commitment letter that you will be working in a New York State hospital that works with 30% Medicaid funded patients. So other supports, entry exam test prep, the HESI is the same thing as TEAS. We do a TEAS prep. We do online and in person at our main headquarters at 498 7th Avenue. There's career and academic advisor and case manager. So when you upload your documents, you'll get a case asking you a few other questions to ensure that you're eligible for this program and that you won't be liable to pay this back if you don't complete. Also, there's tutoring. So there's tutoring at no cost to you. So as all of CPT members that get put through this program, CPT will cover the tutoring. And then after you do graduate and you get licensed, there's a resume and interview skills class that you will be taking so you can move on and interview for your next position as a nurse. And that's all TEF provided. Also, the TEAS prep can provide support for TEAS exam when required. Also, the NCLEX Like I said before, it's mandatory for participation in the program. So once you graduate and you're ready to take your NCLEX, you will be going through our NCLEX prep to ensure our NCLEX right now is at 93% people passing their license on the first try. So we hire some nurses, some retired nurses that help with the NCLEX, and we've been having good numbers. We've been successful with that. Okay, case management. Once enrolled, you'll get a case manager once you put your documents through, and then you're required to attend a TEF registration session. You're doing that now to discuss the expectation regarding communication, documentation, pay release time, and find out about the sports. That's what we're talking about today. So they will assist you in maintaining your academic progress by obtaining, of course, one-on-one. So they'll be reaching out either through email or phone calls with frequent check-ins, and they'll be the liaison between your school and TEF. So your next step, of course, like I was talking through my TEF portal, you can register through 1199seiubenefits.org/myTEF and go through the CPT portal. Okay. And what we're talking about is category 1. If you fall in this category, you enrolled in any type of undergraduate registration program currently, and this includes LPN to RN, RN to BSN, or BSN. And if you started in fall 2024, that means September of this year, you're eligible for this program. Category 2, so you would like to join a registered nurse program and you have at least 20 or more credits of prereqs and towards the RN program and a GPA of 3.0, or you have a non-nursing bachelor's of science, they will take those credits and move them over to an accelerated bachelor's program, which is 18 to 24 months. Some schools do 2 years, 28, 24 months. Some do it in 28. So if you start in January, 28 months is still acceptable. If you're already licensed practical nurse and would like to be a RN, that would be the LPN to RN. Or you're already a registered nurse as associate and want like a bachelor's. And that's accelerated bachelor's because you're already an RN. Then that's category 2. So you got to know which category you fit in. So when we vet you through the one-on-one process, and once you upload your documents to see if you're eligible for this program, then we'll ask these questions so you know where you're at. You don't have a U.S. high school diploma or equivalency or lack 20 or more credits. Then we have other. So we have, you can call the number, the 1-844-833-1199, and get other resources that 1190 provides. So we provide GED prep, so you can take your high school equivalency. We do computer courses. We do Spanish, English as a second language. There's a whole host of different resources that TEF provides for our members, you guys. Okay. So you're not enrolled in a program yet and you don't have enough college credits. So you need to at least get 20 credits with a GPA of 3.0 that will go towards part of a registered nurse program. You will have to find a school on your own. And then you will once you get accepted to the program of the nursing program, then you will make an appointment through MyTEF, 1199seiubenefits.org/training, and you upload your documents if you're ready to get enrolled into the CPT. So you have options for additional credits through our tuition voucher reimbursements. For those who are not eligible yet, you can still use your traditional collective bargaining as a member of 1199 through the voucher reimbursement program or through the HC4 program if you're part of that. So if you're not registered in a nursing program, again, you will submit your application to 1199 SEIU Benefits MyTEF, and you will ask to upload your diploma, your signed service of commitment and release form, your unofficial credit college transcript, or for those that are starting brand new and you don't have a college transcript yet, the class schedule with the school name suffices. Okay, and a copy of your LPN or RN degree license if you have one, or your copy of your bachelor's degree if you have one. Then you will have to make an appointment to review your or explore the programs that are a good fit. So that's all part of the registering for the CPT. You are accepted to your program. So you're going to do the same thing. You're going to submit your application. So it's not a real application. You're just going to submit your documents through 1199 SIU benefits.org MyTEF. Okay, and you, of course, you're going to need the same documents, your diplomas, your commitment letter, your program enrollment, your unofficial transcript or class schedule, proof of having completed a FAFSA application, and the itemized bill for the next semester, because that will go either in the voucher or the support letter that's going to go in your documents so you can print out and give to your school so they can bill us directly for that semester. Okay, also a case manager will review your application. Once approved, you will receive a third-party sponsorship letter that lets them know that they can bill us directly for your semester tuition, fees, and books, if applicable, if it's a third-party vendor involved. And that can be through the school, it can be through a bookstore that accept third-party checks. An invitation to CPT enrollment where we will further details about the CPT program. So that's what we're doing now. They talking about doing a part 2, so you can. So once you accept it, what's going to be happening, so you get further details on what the counselors and the case managers are going to be doing. That's not as of yet up yet, so they're working on it. So be patient. So then the Trajan Education Scholarship Support Programs. So on the next slide, you will review some of the samples of the documents you will need to follow up so you get a visual, because some people are visual. Not just talking about it, people get it. And we understand that. Okay. So this is what a GED looks like, right? A equivalency diploma. But if you have a diploma, we're going to ask you to upload that, or if you have college credits, your transcript, anything that's going to help us move you along through the CPT program. So this is the service commitment form. So this is what's going to talk about. This is what is the most important. It's going to ask you that if you understand that you will be doing a 3-year payback service as a nurse in New York City at a 30% Medicaid functioning institution. If you don't fulfill your 3 years, New York State will come after you for the tuition in full. So before you sign this thing, please talk to a rep from 1199 so they can ensure that you know all the steps. So you don't want to sign this and then not finish what you're supposed to do to get into the program. So this right here is your transcript, and this is from Jersey College. All of them don't look the same, but you would need your name on it, the name of the school, and the class registration for the upcoming semester. So you see how they got codes and how many credits. And so on some schools, it goes on the bill, and that's fine. Most CUNY schools do that, but all schools are not the same. This is what we're looking for when we talk about proof of applying for FAFSA. So this will be found in your FAFSA application in the studentaid.gov, and you will go to your activities, and then you go to the FAFSA form. And you see how it says started your application and it was processed on May 9th. This is all we're looking for, that your FAFSA financial aid application was processed. So all we need is a screenshot of this. So this is what I was talking about. See, Lehman is a CUNY school, so they have the courses, And this is what an itemized bill should look like. This is the ideal itemized bill. All schools don't do this, so you have to probably gonna have to mix and match with your transcript and the bill, and that's fine also. But with the CUNY schools, this could be found in your CUNY portal, and it gives us the total charges, the fees, and the class schedule that you take it for that upcoming semester. And this would be ideal for those that are going to the CPT. So now these are the filing dates, right? So the fall, which already passed. Now the winter is November. We're in now, right now, until January 31st. So you can upload your transcripts and all the documents we asked for. And you will have to apply for CPT because the classes change and the money changes for the bill every semester, depending on how many courses you're taking, how many classes, how many credits, what fees are involved, labs, that kind of stuff. So that would this is you could take a picture of this or you can get this exactly from your case manager. They will let you know when the next um when the next application phase goes with. So with this says questions, but it's too many you ought to do questions. So we're gonna have you guys just reach out to the 844-833-1199 or upload your documents through 1199 SEUbenefits.org/MyTEF so you can get assigned a case manager to you. And if this is, we have this at 498, and this is the schedule that we have computer lab that will help you upload your documents if you're not savvy, or you can call the 844-833-1199, and our member services crew can help you, can walk you through uploading your documents. All right. Another way you can reach out to us, again, is 1199 SEIUbenefits.org, MyTEF, or the phone number, or you can go through MyTEF and go to the Need Help. Click on Need Help. You talk about, you select the type and you put in a voucher or it's a sponsorship letter, and then you ask the question and then you schedule the appointment and they'll get back to you. Everybody, all the counselors and case managers is part of the 1199 MyTEF queue, and it'll let us know when we're available, and when you set up that that appointment. Now, if that appointment is a little bit too late and you know who you set up that appointment to, you can call the 844-833-1199 number and ask for that person by name. And if they got the time, they will help you. All right. So please forgive us about not taking questions, but that's usually they get too much, too cumbersome, and we have almost 250 people on the Zoom, and it's going to be just too many questions. So our staff is ready for your questions. So just use the number, the MyTEF portal, or you go through Need Help. So you get a question, you can set up an appointment faster without uploading your documents. If you got any questions. Okay, want to thank everybody for coming out. If you got any questions, again, write them down and go through the portal or go through the phone number or go through the Need Help function through MyTEF so we can answer your questions individually. We apologize for that. It's just too many, and then we'll be here all day and can't do that. Because right now, my voicemail is full. And so, and then I have a lot of appointments that I have to deal with also. So my apologies. Unfortunately, we just can't answer all the questions at this time. So this is the end of the presentation. You guys can leave the meeting, and hopefully you guys know where you stand with the portal. And we thank you. Goodbye. Good luck, guys.